In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to leverage your Amazon AMI templates in BMC Cloud Lifecycle Management. The first step is to ensure that you have installed a BSA RSCD agent inside of your Amazon Linux AMI template. I will show you now how to do that. Open the AWS console. Review your instances and your owned AMIs. I'm going to install the RSCD agent on Amazon AMI 3. I'm assuming that you created your key pairs and that your Amazon security groups are properly configured and so on. Your security group must have an inbound rule of the port 4750 to test connectivity with NSH. Because we can't access port 22 inside the BMC firewall, we're going to open the Windows AMI instance in Remote Desktop. From there, we'll copy the RSCD agent installer to the Linux instance. But the important point here is we're doing everything inside of Amazon. Open the Windows AMI instance with Remote Desktop. You'll need to install two additional pieces of third-party software, a terminal emulator and an FTP client. We installed PuTTY to connect to the Linux instance, and we also installed FileZilla to copy the RSCD agent to the Linux instance. We also copied the RSCD installer and my Amazon key pairs to the Windows AMI instance. I used a network connection to connect to my laptop. PuTTY doesn't use Amazon.pem files, instead it uses .ppk files. If you haven't generated already a .ppk file, do so now. Open PuTTYGen and save a private key. Now use PuTTY to connect to the Linux instance. Enter the ECT user and the host name and specify port 22. Now you use the PPK file that you generated earlier. Select connection SSH auth, browse to the directory where you copied the PPK file and select it. Start the PuTTY session. You now see the Linux command window. Open FileZilla and configure the SFTP settings to use the private key. Choose Connection, SFTP, and browse to the location of the PPK file. Now connect to the Linux instance. Enter the host name, the username, password where applicable, enter the port, and then connect to the instance. You now can copy the Linux RSCD setup executable over to the Linux instance itself. Make sure that you copy the correct version of the RSCD agent to the instance. I had to use the chmod command to correctly set the file permissions. Now run the wizard to install the RSCD agent. I won't describe the prompts here in this video. The BSA documentation does a pretty good job of describing all the various options. There, we finished installing the RSCD agent. We were successful. Navigate to the etc RSC directory and then open up the exports file. There are several methods for controlling access. The BSA documentation contains lots of information on this subject. But for this template, we are going to lock down the permissions to communicate with the BladeLogic app server. Save your changes and close the exports file. Go to the BSA console and open up the help window. Review the version of BSA that you have installed. Now open up a command window. Enter agent info and the host name or the IP address of the instance like we did here. Hit return and compare the version of the agent that you installed with the version of the BSA console and make sure that they match. Now go back to the AWS console. Here's our status. We finished installing the RSCD agent We fixed the permissions. Now we want to convert the instance back to an AMI template so that we can add it to the product catalog. Select the instance, right-click it, and select Create Image. Add a unique image name and a description, and then click Create Image. Now go to the AMI's page and make sure that its status is available. And while you're here, copy the AMI ID for use with the product catalog. We're now going to add the AMI to the product catalog. Log on to your system as an ITSM administrator, like App Admin. Open the product catalog console. Under General Functions, select New Product Suite. Under the product category, select Create. Add the following information. Under Product Type, select Software. Under CI Type, add Virtual System Enabler. Under Tier 1, add Software Distribution. Tier 2, VM Template. Tier 3, add Amazon. Under Product Name, enter your Amazon ID. Under Manufacturer, add Amazon. Under Status, put Enabled. Click Save. You've added your AMI to the product catalog. Close the window, and you are finished. The AMI template is now ready for use. Open up the Service Designer and create a blueprint. You can now select the AMI template we just created and add it to your blueprint. And that's it. You used an Amazon AMI template inside of Cloud Lifecycle Management.